What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Box Clinic and more, giving an immediate reaction to the Georgia Bulldogs defeating the Oklahoma Sooners in double overtime. Man, it was a great college game. Man, it was a great bowl game. This is college football is all about right here. Not one of these meaningless bowl games. This is a meaningful bowl game, and both teams played their heart out. Before I get into it, usually when you see a team make a mistake early and both teams are basically mistake-free, and one team make a mistake early, you just know down the line if the game becomes close, the other team going to have a critical mistake, and that's what happened. Oklahoma jumped out of them early. They front ran on them. In the game plan for a lot of people calling this fight, especially on ESPN, calling this football game, so I used to talk about boxing, was not let Oklahoma, get up on Georgia, for Georgia to keep the game close. Oklahoma blew the doors off early. They really did. Baker Mayfield was on point. They had a lot of shifty and flashy plays. They had a lot of misdirection, and Mayfield was able to have all the time to throw and be precise. The Oklahoma running back was truly amazing. I can't remember his name, but I think it was Murray or something like that. That dude was amazing. They should have continued to feed that man the rock even more and more. It seemed like he had some oil, some cooking grease on him, because they couldn't tackle him. Their hands just slide all over him. That dude is a serious professional prospect for real. I like that running back. Mayfield, when the game got tight and the pocket collapsed and Georgia came out of halftime and Kirby Smart said it was on the coaches for not having them boys prepared, which is Kirby Smart is the Georgia coach. And he's from that Nick Saban cut, that coaching tree. And I knew they would adjust, but I wouldn't know they adjust that well. They was able to make, halftime adjustments. They collapsed the pocket on Mayfield. Oklahoma got away from the misdirection plays, and their offense became drop back. Georgia was able to keep Mayfield in the pocket. And once they did that, their offense became a little bit different. Without all the tricks and smokes and mirrors, he was able to look more human. He was not completing the pass. He threw a pick. Like I said, I would have gave it to the running back a lot more, but they did feed him enough. And number 4, the receiver, I can't remember his name neither, but he was serious. He was real serious about, what his speed, He said he gained 5 pounds from 165 to 170, felt slow. So, kid was serious, man, for sure. But once they got rid of the misdirection and they was able to make the offense more vanilla for Oklahoma, then Georgia was able to do their thing. Now, Georgia could run the ball up the field all day. Seemed like Oklahoma in the first possession was going to take the run away, but then they continued to run. Chubbs and Michelle was running free like some dogs, in the field, and they couldn't do nothing with them. Georgia up front, like I expected the SEC team to be, was more dominant. But what was more, surprising to me was the simple fact that, that Oklahoma was able to protect Baker Mayfield as good as they could and run block and control the line of scrimmage on offense. I didn't really equate that in the equation. But, Oklahoma held their own. Michelle fumbled, the running back. Oklahoma had a lot of, momentum. Then Fogg, the quarterback, drove Georgia down. They scored, and it went, Baker Mayfield had another chance. They went into OT. He failed that chance. Went into OT. Both kicked field goals. And then, Oklahoma got the ball again first. Got the ball again for the first time. They kick a field goal and get blocked, Some 6'6" guy blocked the field goal, and then they handed off to one of those running backs. They was in the Wildcat. They didn't even hand it off. They was in the wild dog. That's what we're gonna call it, the wild dog. And the dude, ran to the left and scored, and beat Oklahoma. And I told you guys in my prediction, and then the overall college football prediction when it was first announced, that Oklahoma is known for choking in big games. And it was going to be different. They thought it was going to be different because that old coach wasn't there. But, his ass was on the sideline as well, which I can't remember his name. I know I'm hella bad with names today. Probably because New Year's Eve was last night and I was turning up. But, he wasn't there today. It wasn't no excuses. They was blaming him for all the big games being blown. and they still blew a big game tonight. You know, they was up. There was no way they should have gave that lead up because that true freshman quarterback Fogg that Georgia got, he really wasn't slanging it, hadn't slanging downfield. It was all intermediate and short passes to that one receiver, a lot of comeback, a lot of curl routes. But when he did make a kind of a pass downfield, he was on point. But Mayfield was making the more flashy passes. He had the better receivers. He had a running back that was comparable to two Georgia running backs. But it wasn't enough. You know, Georgia defense showed up. Kirby Smart showed why, you know, he was next up to be the next great coach out of the Nick Saban tree. He adjusted at half. They contained Baker Mayfield. I won't disrespect them and say they shut him down because they didn't. And that running back was a Billy Badass as well for Oklahoma. But at the end of number 4, the receiver, I think that's his number, he was bad, had a lot of speed. But at the end of the day, you know, Georgia, it wasn't that they had the more talented bunch. It was close in talent. Georgia had the better coaching. Georgia had made the defensive adjustments. Oklahoma never adjusted offensively or defensively to what Georgia was doing. And Georgia was able to catch up. It became a shootout. And, you know, when they was able to catch up, you know, they talent did the rest. But they coaching put them in positions and they adjusted quickly. And that's what it was. You know, it was coaching. Oklahoma got out coached today. Kirby Smart was the smartest man on the field. And talent-wise, they both was comparable. I like Oklahoma offensive skills set, and they had the better quarterback, but they still lost because of the coaching by Kirby Smart, and the Georgia defense did their thing. Those running backs did their thing. You know, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, Georgia advances to the championship. About to get ready to see what Bama and Clemson about to do. I'm predicting Bama win, and we have an all-SEC championship game, but that might not be the case. So let me know what y'all thought about this game. It was one of the best college football games I've seen in my life. And let's see if the second one lives up. We gone.